أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم مثل الذين كفروا بربهم أعمالهم كرماد اشتدت به الريح في يوم عاصف لا يقدرون مما كسبوا على شيء ذلك هو الضلال البعيد ألم تر أن الله خلق السماوات والأرض بالحق إن يشأ يذهبكم ويأتي بخلق جديد وما ذلك على الله بعزيز وبرزوا لله جميعا فقال الضعفاء للذين استكبروا إنا كنا لكم تبعا فهل أنتم مغنون عنا من عذاب الله من شيء قالوا لو هدانا الله لهديناكم سواء علينا أجزعنا أم صبرنا ما لنا من محيص صدق الله العلي العظيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. Before I start my dars, I just would like to say to especially the young ones who are sitting at the back, if duration of the circle of Tafseer, if you're going to talk, I will ask you to leave the masjid now and talk outside. And if you want to listen to the dars, then you sit. Don't take these circles very lightly. So if I see anyone talking, I can warn you now, I will straight away stop my dars. I will tell you to leave the masjid and talk outside. You don't come here to talk. You don't come here to chat with one another. You come here to either to do the worship or sit in a circle. If you don't want to sit in a circle, you can go outside and talk there. So keep this in your mind. Very frequently this is happening in this masjid. Whether I'm giving dars or Maulana is giving dars, we see young ones sitting at the back, mobile in their hands, playing in their mobiles, chatting with one another. What's all this? Show respect to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Show the respect to the hadith of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Respected elders, young brothers, elders, friends, mothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah, summa alhamdulillah. With the can I say you too that can you please leave? You're disturbing me. Just can you go outside and talk, please? You're distracting me, you two at the back. Can you just leave the masjid, please, and talk outside? Summa alhamdulillah, with the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, here we are in the masjid again on Sunday after Zuhr prayer, sitting in the circle of Tafseer of Quran, the gathering in which the Tafseer of various of surahs takes place, either by myself or by Maulana Musa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all these circles, all these gatherings, and make the means of forgiveness for all the listeners, for mothers, sisters, young ones, elders, and make these gatherings means of coming very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and make it means of Allah coming close to our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. On Sunday, the undergoing Tafseer is Tafseer of Surah Ibrahim. In my previous gathering, I shed light on the verse of Surah Ibrahim in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states what the non-believers are going to be given to drink. They will be in a severe thirst and they would want something to drink, or what they are going to be given, what they will be made to drink. I shed light on this in the previous verse. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, وَيَأْتِهِ الْمَوْتُ مِنْ كُلِّ مَكَانٍ وَمَا هُوَ بِمَيِّتٍ. The death will come to him in the hellfire, in the Jahannam, from every place, and yet he will not die. لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا. Allah is saying neither he will die nor he will live. Meaning that death will come from every corner of Jahannam, meaning various of punishments will come to him in a form of snakes, scorpions, and he will never die there. Now, as I mentioned yesterday in Urdu Dars, in this dunya, we find the non-believers also doing so many good deeds. There also we find them doing so many good deeds. The charity work they do, helping others. Now, is this going to be useful for them on the day of judgment? Is this going to benefit them on the day of judgment? The answer is not at all. It will benefit them here in this dunya, but it will not benefit them in the hereafter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the verses of recited, Allah clearly mentions, مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ. The deeds of those who disbelieve their Lord are like ashes blown away by wind in a stormy day. You know, the ashes, they don't have any weight. And when the wind blows, it just takes them whichever the direction the wind is blowing to, the ashes will be blown away. Similarly, the amals of kuffar will have no weight on the day of judgment. The amal and the actions of non-believers will have no weight. They will be just, flying in the air, and they will be of no use for the non-believers, and they will not benefit them. لا يقدرون مما كسبوا ولا شيء. Allah is saying they will not be able to achieve anything of what they did. Meaning from the good deeds they did in the dunya, they will not achieve anything. They will not get anything on the day of judgment. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is alerting us of His qudrat, His power, how powerful He is. Alam tara, Allah is saying, have you not seen that Allah khalaqa as-samawati wal arda bil haqq, that Allah Almighty has created the heavens and the earth in a very proper way. Meaning, وَمَا ذَلِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ بِعَزِيزٍ. And Allah is saying, this is not difficult for Allah. He will put you aside, He will put you away, and He will bring another creation. As He created the heavens with His might, without anyone's help, similarly, if Allah wills, He can take me and you away, and He can bring another nation. إِن تَتَوَلُّوا يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمٌ غَيْرَكُمْ. If you turn away, remember one thing, if we are doing any work of deen, you're not doing any favor to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just keep this in your mind. You are not doing any favor to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all. Never be proud that I am doing the deen of Allah, the work of deen. Never be proud. Rather be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has chosen you and has given you tawfiq to do the work of His deen. In tansurullaha yansurkum wa yuthabbit aqdabakum. If you help Allah, Allah says when you help Allah, meaning helping Allah, help the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yansurkum, then you will find and then you will see the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala right with your own eyes. So never be proud of anything, whether you are doing good deed or you are doing the work of deen. Never be proud, rather be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has given you tawfiq to do something good. When you see around so many people that the good deed you are doing, you will find so many are not doing that. You offering the prayers, you will find hundreds of Muslims not offering the prayers. So you should thank Allah that Allah, they are just like me and they are not offering the prayers. They are unmindful of this duty. And oh Allah, you have given me the tawfiq. Oh Allah, I thank you. Never be proud of any work you do of deen, or nor you be proud of the good actions you are doing. Always be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah is saying that if He wills, He can take you away. He can put you away and bring someone else in place. So we should never be proud of what we are doing. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the scenario of Jahannam, it is playing in the Quran of the non-believers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, when the non-believers will be thrown into hellfire, there will be some people in this dunya who were diverted from Iman, from the call of Islam by rich people, by the leaders of the community, either because they were very weak financially and their chiefs, they were very strong, they had wealth, everything, and they forced them not to believe in Allah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَقَالَ الدُّعَوْا وَبَرَزُوا لِلَّهِ جَمِيعًا. All of them, Allah is saying all of them will appear before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one will be able to escape from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. Neither one can escape from Allah here in this dunya. We can never ever escape from Allah, whether we are in this dunya or in akhirat, whether we are in barzakh. No one will be able to escape from Allah, wherever He is. Allah is saying they all will appear before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَقَالَ الضُّعَفَاءُ لِلَّذِينَ اسْتَكْبَرُوا. The weak ones, the weak will say to those who were arrogant. The weak, because of whom they did not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They listened to their chiefs, their leaders, those who were in power, those who were in authority. They listened to them and they followed them. They will say to them, Inna kunna lakum taba'an, we were your followers. Because of you we did not believe in Allah, and because of you we did not believe in the messengers. We were your followers. Now today we need your help. And the help is فَهَلْ أَنْتُمْ مُغْنُونَ أَنَّا مِنْ عَذَابِ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. Can you relieve us a little from the punishment of Allah? Is there any possibility that you can remove this adhab of Allah from us? They will say, now the arrogance will say, قَالُوا لَوْ هَدَانَ اللَّهُ لَهَدَيْنَاكُمْ. Had Allah guided us, we also would have guided you. What does it mean? The commentators, they say this verse meaning, had Allah guided us, we would have guided you. If today Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows us the leeway, we would also show you the leeway. If Allah shows us how to escape and He gives us a way, an entrance from which we can escape, then we will also show you the entrance from which we will be escaping, and we will also let you know that we escape from here. But Maulana bi mahis. No, we cannot escape today. We cannot escape from Allah's punishment today, neither us nor you. Sawa'un alayna ajazina am sabarna Maulana bi mahis. Allah Almighty is saying, the inmates of hellfire, they will say, whether we mourn, complain, or suffer patiently, it is all same for us. Nothing will help us. Whether we scream here, we cry, we weep, we beg Allah, or we remain patient, none of these situations will help us. It is, listen to the hadith now. In the hadith, Muhammad bin Ka'b al-Qurzi rahimahullah says, I received this hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in which he says, the mushriki in the Jahannam, the kuffar in the Jahannam, they will come to the wardens of hellfire. They will come to the keepers, the guardians of the hellfire. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions He has appointed 19 angels on the hellfire. Alayha tis'ata ashar. Allah is saying there are 19 angels who have been appointed to be the guards, the keepers of the hellfire. And their chief is Malik, whose name is Malik. And the Jannat, the chief of the angels of Jannat is called Ridwan. And the Malik, he is the chief of the angels who have been appointed in Jahannam. They will say to the wardens of Jahannam, Ud'u rabbakum yukhaffif anna yawman min al-'adhab. They will say to the wardens of Jahannam, please, O you wardens of Jahannam, pray to your Lord. Pray to your Lord that we're not asking that He takes out of Jahannam. Just reduce azab of 1 day from us. Just 1 day. Or you wardens, ask Allah. Your call will be answered by Allah. Ask Allah just to relieve us from this Jahannam, just for 1 day. Just reduce the azab just 1 day. The wardens will reply by saying, Ud'u wa ma du'al kafir illa fi dalal. No, they will say, did the messengers of Allah did not come to you? And they brought the messages of Allah, and they brought the clear proofs upon the oneness of Allah and upon the prophethood and the messengership of the messengers. They will say, yes, the messengers did come, but we rejected them. We did not listen to them. So then the wardens will say, Ud'u rabbakum wa ma du'al kaf illa fi dalal. You yourself ask Allah. You yourself beg Allah. You yourself make dua to Allah that He may relieve you and He may reduce azab of 1 day from you. Then they will say, and you know what Allah is saying? And the angel will say, remember, your dua are nothing but a result. They will result in nothing. The result of your dua will be nothing but failure. Your duas will not be accepted. Even you ask Allah, He will accept your duas. Then they say, Hadith is saying, then they will say, let's turn to Malik, the chief. Let's ask him. Let's beg him. Let's request him. They will turn to the Malik and they will say to him, O Malik, liyaqdi alayna rabbuk. O Malik, we beg you, just ask Allah to finish us off. Meaning, let us die. Finish everything off. We are suffering. Tell Allah to cause us to die. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, Malik will not reply them for 80 years. He will not reply them for 80 years. And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying 1 year will be of 360 days. 1 year will be of 360 days. And further it says, and 1 day of Akhirat, 1 day will be equal to 1,000 years of this dunya. Now you go home and calculate how many millions of years they will, after how many millions of years they will receive the response from Malik. After 80 years, Malik will reply to them and say, Innakum makithun. No. You will abide forever and ever. You will stay here forever and ever. There is no chance that you will come out of Jahannam unless only one or only those will come out of Jahannam who had Iman. You know how lucky we are, how fortunate we are that Allah Almighty has given us the Iman. If a believer will be thrown into hellfire, his Iman inshallah will take him out of Jahannam one day. His Iman, that's what they say, hadith, you know, when a person on the day of judgment who has done wrong to many people, he swore at, he backbited, or he forcefully, he took other people's properties, wealth, money. On the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will place, Allah will give his all good deeds to those who were entitled to. And if his deeds will finish, Allah will place their sins on his shoulder. And if the sin and everything is finished, but Allah will give everything of his good deeds will be given to those people, whose rights, he served. But one thing Allah will not give of this person, his Iman. His Iman will not be given to anyone. Allah will throw him into Jahannam with his Iman. And inshallah, because of his Iman, one day Allah Almighty will take him out of Jahannam. So the angels, the Malik will say to them, no, there is no way for you to come out of Jahannam. No way. You will stay here. And then they will say to one another, look, in dunya, we found those who were believers, they faced so many difficulties, and yet they suffered. But they were so patient that today their patience, their sabr is benefiting them. Now let's be patient. We've been crying, and it is mentioned they will be crying for 500 years. And then they will say, let's do sabr now. May Allah have mercy upon our sabr, and then may He relieve us from this Jahannam, azab. They will do sabr for 500 years. And after 500 years, they will find that nothing is happening. Allah is saying, then they will say, Sawa'un alayna ajazina am sabarna ma lana min mahis. It is all same for us whether we do sabr or not. We are not going to be taken out of Jahannam. And then after that, they will say, what should we do now? Then they will turn to Shaitan, the Iblis. And then the Iblis will address them. He will give the khutbah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has stated what the Iblis is going to say to them. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills, inshallah, I will shed light on this in my next verse. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our sitting here. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.